Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Tim Travers and the Time Traveler's Paradox. And I wonder if that's his God-given name, or it's like I was destined to deal with time traveling because my name is Tim Travers. But this is from writer, director, and actually star Stimson Sneed, and this film focuses on what happens if you travel back in time and eliminate your younger self. Terminally bored mad genius Tim Travers seeks to find the answer and unravel the time traveler's paradox. And this low-budget sci-fi thriller comedy is a wild ride for sure. And this film, I'm so impressed by how bold and ambitious conceptually and thematically and narratively this film is for a film that obviously has a very low budget. There's definitely moments where like the sound mixing and stuff like that really show that they were lacking in resources here, but what Sneed is able to accomplish is ridiculous, to be honest. And so much of this goes to Samuel Dunning, who plays Tim Travers, who plays so many versions of himself throughout this film because he keeps time traveling and making copies of himself, and all existing in the same place. It leans into some low-hanging fruit in terms of like what kinds of things you would do if you had multiple versions of yourself. But I do think that it creates some intellectual curiosity and explores some intellectual, conceptual, thematic elements in an engaging and interesting way. And I think it leverages all these different versions of Dunning everywhere to great effect, comedically, thematically, narratively. And there's a fun rest of the cast too, like Sneed I mentioned in the film as this guy who's consistently trying to like take out all of these Tim Travers. As you know, Travers made a mistake similar to Doc Brown in terms of where he got, some materials to do his experiments, and bad men like Danny Trejo are coming after him. You even have Joel McHale, who interviews Travers on McHale's character James Bunratty. He has a alt-right conspiracy theory podcast, and Joel McHale plays his character so perfectly. Even Keith David, who pops up as this godlike entity, because of course he would, because it's Keith David, and he's in it for like one scene and completely commits to it. There's even a bit of a romance subplot with Felicia Day, Delilah, and I think Day and Dunning have some good chemistry here. The film gets a little wild narratively, it gets a little unwieldy narratively, but it also has a lot of twists and turns that are engaging, unexpected, and keeps you on your toes. This is a wild film that somehow keeps expanding upon its scope and finding more interesting things to say about time travel and humanity and all of these different kinds of elements. And this is funny, legitimately funny a lot of the time, and this cast is just completely committed to selling the bit, even how ridiculous some of the bits in the film can get. And, it does its best with its special effects budget and stuff like that. And it's campy, it's wild, it has so much personality. It's just one of those kinds of films that, you're like, sure, I could see some of the seams here because it probably didn't have that much money to make this, but it's such a delightful, wild, thought-provoking experience that it leverages so much to make so much out of a little. But those are my thoughts on Tim Travers and the Time Traveler's Paradox. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.